Residents of KwaDukuza municipality's Ward 28 in KwaZulu-Natal say they want the new councillor to prioritise the needs of the community. The ANC has fielded high-profile politicians to canvass voters, while the MK party leader Jacob Zuma is expected to be campaigning in the very same ward. And this, as by-elections will then be held on Wednesday after the ANC ward councillor resigned. The IFP, ANC, MK party and EFF are also fielding candidates. KwaDukuza municipality has been suffering from political squabbles, while investigations have also been launched into its finances. Let's now welcome Professor Ntsikelelo Breakfast, who joins us for more analysis on this as well as other developments. Prof, it's always good to have you on the show. Welcome. Let's start with these by-elections then, prompted by the resignation, I must mention, of an ANC ward councillor. So what do you foresee actually unfolding there? We saw the surprising results recently by the new as well as growing MK party, even growing outside of the province. And we know they are also said to be contesting for pole position, particularly in this ward.
Thank you very much for having me. I think these elections are quite important because everything has a context, and context is everything. Now, these by-elections are happening against the background of elections that will be held shortly next year, and they serve as a precursor. So I get the sense that political parties, they see this as a golden opportunity to showcase their state of readiness regarding how they are going to perform in the upcoming local government elections. But for me, I think the political parties that stand to lose, basically, I would say, MK, in my view, they've got nothing to lose. You know, they've just been formed of late. But the ANC and other political parties like the DA and others, I think, are the ones that stand to lose.
Let's expand on that, on the ANC there. We know that the province, the ANC, the party in the province has recently, the leadership, Professor, has recently been reconfigured, and they've gone ahead to also field very high-profile candidates, particularly for this ward. But do you feel that the people on the ground, as they actually complaining about the fact that the previous councillor did not prioritize the issues of service delivery as well as communal-based issues, what do you think, and how do you think then the party is set to fare, even with the new candidates that have been fielded?
Well, I think the feeling of the people on the ground showcases that they take issues of rendering services seriously, because local government is a very important sphere of government, largely because it is closer to the people on the ground, and therefore councillors, you know, they serve as a link between the communities that they serve and the council. So normally there is that missing link where you have a gap between these communities and the leaders. So I think that gap has tended not to be breached. So I think it's one of the reasons why the ANC has been losing ground, basically, at local government level, because their councillors have tended not to carry the mandate of the communities which they're serving, and have tended to let their people down. No wonder they tend to be ousted from the leadership positions.
Very interesting indeed. We understand that in the Western Cape, we saw, of course, the Umkhonto weSizwe party there winning a historic victory in the Saldanha Bay municipality there. So it's pointing to quite a lot of political headwinds and spins currently making rounds, Professor. But let's look at the other candidate there, which is the IFP, that held its 50th anniversary celebrations this past weekend. And it was quite interesting, Professor, to see its very own supporters actually criticizing the party for lack of service delivery where it currently governs. So where do you think they are in terms of their chances to also improve on these?
you've touched on two important issues. The first one is the victory of MK in the Western Cape in Saldanha. To be honest, I did not see that one coming because the DA is very strong there. I've stayed there. I think MK is showing us a lot of what might happen in future. And then coming back to the celebrations of the IFP, I think the IFP stood a chance of really outmaneuvering the ANC in the last local government elections. But unfortunately, of late, because of the ushering in of MK, they too have been dealt with the blow in a big way. Because, of course, I'm comparing general elections and local government elections.
Yes.
But the fact of the matter is, MK, whether you like it or not, in KZN, they've got a strong footprint there. And that has also affected Inkatha Freedom Party. So I think that criticism arose against that background. No wonder some of the party members are unhappy about the way things are at the moment. But for them to bounce back, I think they will have to do a lot of shake-up in KZN.
Very interesting that you mentioned that much-needed shake-up, particularly by the ANC in that province, Professor, because we understand that they're also meeting, the NEC is also meeting this weekend. Many internal issues we understand and being told are going to be discussed, like the introduction of that new smart members card that is supposed to guide against any corruption and also ensure there's branch strengthening there. So let's talk about those issues, as well as the other pertinent issue of the current tensions between the United States as well as South Africa that are said to dominate those talks. And judging by how the presidency has reacted to this current impasse, what possible and likely solutions do you foresee being put forward?
Yeah, this fallout between us and them, between us as a country and the US, has really affected us in the main. Given the fact that, we, whether you like it or we are not on par with the US in terms of the size of the country and in terms of the economy. So the way out, in my view, is to try our level best as a country to be, not to politicize the application of a diplomacy. That's the first point. The second point is to try to have a win-win situation as opposed to a zero-sum game or a win-lose a situation. By attacking the problems hard and try to use a softy approach, because we need this partnership, because the US is one of the largest trading partners that we have. I think it's the second.
Second largest, yes.
Largest, yeah. So we can't lose, the trading partnership that we have with them. So I hope that they will try behind closed doors, not cross swords in public, to find a way out. Even though the US strikes me not to be committed in terms of mending this bilateral relationship.
All right, Professor, thank you so much for your input. We're going to leave it there. That is Professor Ntsikelelo Breakfast, the political analyst on the by-elections that are set to take place in KwaDukuza, as well as the US-SA tensions.